Hey everybody, my name is Terraknight and welcome to the top 5 Bukkit plugins that you need. Before we get started, let me tell you that these are my opinions and what I think you need. You may disagree, but that's okay. You choose what you want. So, without further ado, let's get on to the list. Alright, so the first one is over here, and that is EssentialsX. It's not the regular Essentials you may be thinking about. This is a different one with performance in mind. You can find this on Spigot. I have all of these plugins, websites that you can download them at in the description right below. So you check that out if you want to, if you find one of these interesting. But EssentialsX is basically a remake of the first one with pretty much the exact same stuff. So right here, see it says welcome Terraknight MC, type help, list, players online, world time, you have no new mail, and you can change your game modes, clear inventory. So I'm just going to do a quick example of what you can do with this. Most of you probably know, but some of you may not. So you can change your game mode by doing this, and it can tell you some types of stuff for it, or there's shortcuts like GMC, GMS, GMA. For instance, I don't know if there's GMSP. There is. All right. Whoa. Okay. That was strange. But anyways, this is EssentialsX. I highly recommend you get it. It also has some sort of economy in it. You don't need Vault, but I highly recommend getting that as well. It just really depends on what type of server you're making. So these are the ones that would most likely go across all servers, in my opinion. So yeah, you can do eco give Terraknight. I'll give myself $50. So I have $50. I can check my balance. There it is, $50. So that's pretty much that, and let's get on to the second one. Alright, so the second one on here is a bundle of plugins. That's pretty much what all of these are. But they all go together. So the second is WorldEdit and WorldGuard. You need WorldEdit for WorldGuard to work. So what this does is with WorldEdit you can type / wand, and you can do stuff like cut out objects. So I'll select a little place right here and I'll cut it out. So you can cut areas, you can set stuff like diamond blocks right there. It's pretty cool. You can do a ton of crazy stuff with it. So here's one more example that I'll show you. Let me just go to creative mode real fast. So if I build up right here, get my wand back and come over here, and I can type / walls. Whoops, gotta spell it correctly in order for it to work. Walls wood. It'll create walls all around the area I selected. So this one is very helpful. I use it all the time when I'm building on servers. Very, very, very helpful in world management and some other stuff sometimes, like rotating objects and just copying and placing things. So yeah, that one is highly recommended by me as well. You should definitely get that one. That was kind of weird. Right, so yeah, and then WorldGuard, what that does is you can protect stuff. So if you're playing on a server with multiple people, you're going to want your stuff protected. It's mostly admin-like stuff. It's very complicated to get used to, but I've used it for quite a while, so I'm pretty used to it. And all you do is you select your point with the / wand thing, and you get region claim, and then you can name it. So I'll just name it spot, and then it has been claimed as me or my area. And if you want, you can check the place by getting leather out. And it says, can you build? Yes. And the regions where I have selected are spot, and I've walked out of the region now. So if I were someone else and I wasn't the owner of this or a member of it, I wouldn't be able to build in here. It says you cannot do that here. Very helpful. They also can't open chests or do any sort of thing like that. Very, very, very helpful one. You can also add flags to it. So I'll show you that real fast. So for instance, what we can do is region flags. Oh, excuse me, sorry. To get the list, oh no, they changed it. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I actually forgot the ID spot, and then you just random stuff. So this is how you can kind of get the list. That's what I do. But you can do PvP. You can turn PvP on just in here, off here. so it's active everywhere else besides the one in there. You can turn commands off, like certain ones off, grass growth to stop. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can turn mob spawning off, so many different things. It's really cool. Like for instance, let me do greeting, and there we go. So if I come into the region here, it'll say hello. And also the thing about this is it does work on the Y axis as well, not just the X and Z. So it also does go by height. So you can just expand the claim. If you want me to get into more of WorldEdit and WorldGuard and all of these plugins, just let me know in the comments and I will be happy to do a tutorial on all of them. So anyways, on to the next one, which is the third. Alright, so the third group is Multiverse. This is very helpful if you don't have Bungie, or you can't afford for it, or you just don't want Bungie. This one allows you to have multiple worlds in the same server. So for instance, I'm going to show you an example of creating one and going to it, and there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with it. You can use other plugins to kind of customize the ways you get to them. Very cool. So the first thing you want to do is MV create, and you'll type the name of your world. I'm just going to call it test, and I want the type of it. I'm going to make it a flat world, so oh man, I don't remember how to actually make it. There we go, normal -t flat. Okay, I couldn't remember the flat world thing. And you can also use different generators, so there, right there. So if you put -G instead of T, T is world type, all sorts of stuff. You can see it right up there. So it's complete, and to go to it, MVTP test, and here we go. This is our place. It's a flat world, as you can see, and we do have multiple worlds. If I do MV list, there they are. And so you can go to this spawn by typing MV spawn, and you can set it to different areas just like that. So yeah, that's the Multiverse-Core. That is the base plugin that you need for the rest of these to work. I'll show you that in just a second. So if I go back to world, I'll make it to my spot right over here. So the next part of this is MV portals. There's a bunch of other plugins that go with this, but I don't find uses that much for the other ones. Inventories hasn't been working for me either, so that's where this one comes in. And Nether portals, you really actually only need that if you're gonna have if you're gonna have multiple worlds with, like for instance, if you're gonna have a survival world or a Nether portal in a certain world, that will link that Nether portal just to that Nether world. So for instance, if I go to the Nether in test, it won't take me to World Nether, it'll take me to test Nether. So that's what that does. You can customize the links of where they go to as well if you want. So also, oh excuse me, I skipped over portals. Whoops. So portals is very simple. Oh look, we're in a region. Alright, so I'll go on creative mode. Never mind, I actually am. Alright, so let me just grab an example for portal. And I like to spice things up. You can do all sorts of different stuff. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of it. So if you create yourselves a portal, it doesn't matter what the size is. So I'm just going to make one that big. And it doesn't even have to be a portal looking like thing. It can be in the ground. For example, it doesn't have to look like this. But anyways, I'll just add a little decorations here and there to show you that you can make this thing a little different. Alright, so what you want to do to create the portal is select the blocks with your WorldEdit wand. If you don't have WorldEdit installed, it will give you a separate wand, but if you do have it installed, like I recommend, it will tell you to use the WorldEdit wand. So you'll select that right there, and you will type MVP create, and then you name it whatever you want. So I'm going to call it portal, and then you tell it what world it's going to. So it created the portal. I'll walk on through, and boom, we're in our test world now. So that's really cool. You can customize those as much as you want. I'm just going to show you that you can do it back and forth just like this. I will quickly create a portal, MVP create test, and I will bring it back to world. So walk right there, that's where the portal was, doesn't have to be enclosed, and then I can fly my way over here to show you the rest of this stuff. You can customize these, of course. That's really cool. Just like that, it doesn't flow out. That's a really nice thing about it. So you can get a bucket if you want to drain that. And then you can also do lava. Just like that. It doesn't flow out as well. I have had it hurt me before. Not much, but I don't know. Oh boy, that messed up. That usually never happens like that. That was strange. Okay, I've never had it happen like that before, but I guess I don't really create portals with the Nether portal one. I haven't done that in a while, so I guess it's a little bugged right now. Oh boy, I messed this up. Alright, anyways, that is the example of that. It still works, you can walk on through. I guess that's a little buggy right now. And you do need the correct version of WorldEdit and Multiverse-Nether portals. You need WorldEdit version 6.1 for it to work. I don't know why. It's been very buggy in the recent versions of it. So you need WorldEdit 6.1. That will be in the description below. So, on to our next plugin. Alright, so the fourth plugin is just a single one. It is PerWorldInventory. Multiverse does have multiverse inventories, but it hasn't been working in the past few versions of the game. It got really buggy, and it really messed up my server once, so I was very unhappy about that. And then I found this one, and this one is absolutely amazing. You can customize it quite a bit as well, too. And I'll show you how it works, or what it does. It's almost self-explanatory by it. Well, actually, it is pretty much self-explanatory. So let me just grab a couple random stuff. So there we go. Put some armor on here. Alright, so I've got myself all that. Let me get something in my offhand just to show you. Okay, so I've got some stuff in my inventory. It's all there. Just put that there. There. Almost every slot is full. Every type of slot is full. Alright, so if I go ahead into the test world, you'll see... Hold on. Oh no. That was strange. Alright. Anyways, I have a different inventory in here. I don't have any sort of that stuff in survival mode, and you can also have different inventories for creative and survival mode. You can customize all that in the config if you want to. But if I go in creative mode, look, I had this from last time and it remembers it. If I go back in survival mode, I don't have it. So it's very handy about that, and it also does keep your experience different in your levels. That's very nice. Alright, come on. Is it all over here? There it is. Alright. It's a bad thing about not having anything placed for it, but I mean, it was just an example. So yeah, that's pretty much it for PerWorld inventories. It's pretty customizable. Very, very, very helpful. I've been highly satisfied with it in the past time of me using it, so I highly recommend that one again. And on to the next one. Alright, so the fifth and final plugin is a permissions plugin. I couldn't point out exactly what one to put on here because there's tons of different ones. All of them appeal differently to some people. Some of them work a little bit differently. But the one I've been using for the past few versions of the game is zPermissions. Like that. Oh, not like that. Like that. You can find it in the description too. But I've been using this one for a while. I'm very satisfied with it. So I'm going to show you an example. If I hop over to the console here, hold on, you can't see this. So de-op, and I'll de-op myself. There we go. So I'm de-op now. And if I try to type something like /help, it says you do not have access to that command. As if I were opt, I would be able to use it. And also like game mode creative, I don't have access to any of those stuff. So I'm going to show you that. The permissions plugin, you can choose what commands people have access to and what they have access to doing on the server. Very, very, very helpful if you don't want to just have to opt someone and just have them as a regular user. So I'm going to show you an example of me adding a permission to me, I guess. Alright, so I tried to add the permission to it. It backfired on me in a ton of ways. I guess this is kind of broken right now. zPermissions. I've used it for a while, but it didn't work. It ended up giving me a ton of errors. So I'm not too sure what happened there, but I don't know. I mean, it said, look, essentials.help set to true. For stone, I was actually already recording this. I recorded me doing that whole thing, but it just backfired so badly that I decided not to put it in here. So I'm just putting this in here. It backfired on me, but anyways, permissions plugin is very, very, very useful as long as you get it to work correctly. If you want me to do tutorials over each of these plugins, I'd be more than happy to. Just give me a comment and a like, and I'll be more than happy to do so. So thank you so much for watching. If this helped you out, share it with your friends over the world. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye. Oh no! Wait, what? Oh, hey. Oh, I had no idea that you were there, so you could have gotten away with that. Coming for you. Yeah. He's hungry. He's hungry though. Don't you want to help him?